In this video, we're taking you with us on Florida's most unique and underrated adventure. It's an animal lover's dream come true that you can only do right here in this tiny part of Florida. Before long, we'll be getting out on the water and going underwater, but it's gonna be anything but your typical Florida day on the beach.
In the entire US, there's only one spot where it's legal to actively swim with manatees, and it's right here in Crystal River, Florida. It's in the cold winter months that hundreds of manatees migrate into the springs, which maintain a constant temperature of 72 degrees, even as the nearby Gulf gets much colder. The combination of the spring's high manatee population and its crystal clear waters make for an out-of-this-world, one-of-a-kind experience that is an absolute must-do here in Florida, and we cannot wait to show you why this is our all-time favorite Florida adventure and why it may just be yours as well.
There are quite a few businesses you can book manatee tours with here in Crystal River. Today we are going out with Paddletail Waterfront Adventures because they are located right on site at the place that we're staying, which is Paddletail Waterfront Lodge. And they offer a really cool package where you can stay here for 3 days and 2 nights. And over the course of your stay, you get to swim with the manatees, go out on a manatee boat tour, as well as go out on a kayak. Now we think this is the perfect little getaway to do something here in Florida a little bit different that's beyond the parks and the beaches. Now our first activity is the manatee boat tour, so we'll see you out on the water. The first of our 3 tours with Paddletail Waterfront Adventures was the Kings Bay Manatee Watching Tour, which, like the other 2 tours, departed just steps from our hotel room. The waters on this day were incredibly calm, which would make for a smooth ride on the boat and spotting manatees a breeze. Already spotted our first manatee. The captain says it's a mom and a baby. We soon found our captain, Glenn, to be full of knowledge. And while we make our way through Kings Bay, we're going to share some of the interesting facts we learned both on this tour and at other points during our trip. While only around 20 to 60 manatees make their home in Kings Bay year-round, the manatee population balloons to over 1,000 in the winter months, with somewhere around 1,400 manatees estimated to have made their home here during last winter's peak. So this is the entrance to Magnolia Spring. It used to be called Gator Hole. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but there are little bumps in the water way back there, and our guide says that each of those are a manatee back. Some manatees travel from as far away as Texas to spend their winters in the much warmer spring waters. Because these manatees must drink fresh water every few days to stay hydrated, they have to take the long route to remain close to fresh water supplies. So the manatees out here people can swim with, but back there is a refuge. Oh, one right here. Manatees are often referred to as sea cows, and like land cows, they spend the majority of their time either resting or eating. Also similar to cows, manatees are strictly vegetarian and will eat up to 10 to 15% of their body weight in aquatic plants every day. While they typically only swim at speeds of 3 to 5 miles per hour to conserve energy, manatees can really move if they want to, reaching speeds of up to 15 to 20 miles per hour for brief periods. There's a group swimming right now, and we are going to be doing something like that tomorrow morning. So that is the entrance to Three Sisters Springs, and this time of year, I think you can only swim in there. You can't even bring a paddleboard or a kayak. Manatees are covered in short hairs similar to whiskers, each of which is connected to nerves. This makes them so sensitive to movement that a manatee can actually feel a human's heart beating in the water from more than 10 feet away. Due to their massive size, manatees have very few natural predators, and as a result, don't have a natural fear of humans or other animals, and are often quite curious and friendly. But humans are by far their biggest threat, as boat strikes are the leading cause of manatee injury and death, and pollution has contributed to habitat loss. Thankfully, boat strikes are on the decline and manatee populations are on the rise, due largely to seagrass replanting efforts and to tours like these which raise awareness of these lovable animals and teach people how they can help keep them healthy and safe. Our guide has been talking about the hurricanes that this area has gone through, and now if you want to build a house on the bay, you have to build 12 foot above high tide.
We just got off our boat tour. It was about an hour and a half long, and Jamie and I both agreed it was a really good way to start off our time here in Crystal River. Now, like Jamie mentioned earlier, we're actually doing 3 different water activities on this trip, and we're really glad we did this one first because it allowed us to get out on the water, get a little bit familiar with the area, and learn a lot about the river and the springs and their most famous residents, the manatees. Now, I do think if we would have actually swam with the manatees first, this tour may have been a little bit lackluster in comparison, but I am really glad we did this tour because it's made us even more excited to go swim with the manatees tomorrow morning, and it's really going to help us plan out our route for when we get our kayak rental later on too.
Skylar just brought it to my attention that there is a kitty over here, so of course he's going to try to go pet it. Cats normally love him. Skylar says this cat is the real life version of Garfield.
Fat and orange. Very friendly.
Says it's fat, orange, and very friendly. Next, we do have plans to grab dinner somewhere, but first we are going to stop by our room to do a little bit of unpacking. Now, while we do that, we are going to show you some footage that we took earlier when we were exploring the Paddletail property, and then we'll meet back up with you for dinner. This is the lobby here at Paddletail Waterfront Lodge, and as you can see behind me, they have it decorated for Christmas. It looks really nice. We've actually been in this lobby before, back when it was a Best Western years ago when we stayed here, but they have completely redone it. It is practically unrecognizable. This area is definitely manatee themed. They even have manatees on the pillows. In addition to the check-in desk, you also find a small store here, and it's connected to the complimentary breakfast area, which I'm sure we're going to enjoy a time or two during our stay. We just left the lodge area, and now we're on our way to building 2 because that's where our room is. It's a great location because it's only a short walk from Waterfront Adventures, as well as the pool, hot tub, and the Tiki Bar, which we'll show you all of in a little bit. This is where we're staying the next couple of nights. It is your typical hotel room, but it has everything that you need. I already tested out the bed. It's pretty comfortable. It's not too firm, not too soft. It also has a refrigerator with a freezer, as well as a microwave. We've got a desk so we can get a little bit of work done. And the bathroom is pretty spacious. There's a lot of counter space in there. And of course, like the rest of this property, it's also manatee themed. But we didn't come to Crystal River to hang out in our room, so let's go back outside.
Now, as you may have already guessed from the Christmas decorations and the way we're dressed, it is currently winter here in Florida. It's just a couple of weeks until Christmas, and the tour we're going out on tomorrow morning actually feels like a little bit of an early Christmas present because we are so excited for it. But by the time this video goes live, Christmas will only be a few days away. And if you've been procrastinating and are still looking for a last-minute stocking stuffer, we have a great idea for you. Now, many of you already know that we love our Extra wallet and card holders because they make accessing your cards a breeze, have RFID blocking against wireless theft, and when paired with a Finder card, make your wallet virtually unlosable.
But just when we thought Extra had made the perfect card holder, they took it to another level. This is the Card Holder Pro for MagSafe. Like their other card holders, it has a super sleek and slim design with an easy access card trigger. But this card holder also has built-in MagSafe on both sides, making it really easy to attach securely to your compatible phone or phone case.
Now, with the new year coming up, my resolution is to be more efficient and organized, and this card holder is going to help me do just that, because being able to attach my wallet to my phone means there's one less thing that I have to remember to grab before I go anywhere. So if you're looking for that perfect last-minute stocking stuffer, or want to get a more organized start to your new year, or just want to seriously upgrade your old raggedy wallet, scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the video description to shop all of Extra's smart wallets and travel essentials. Now, Extra is currently running a Christmas sale where you can save up to 54% on their website and up to 64% if you use code Explorcation at checkout, which is the best savings we have seen yet. We do have to thank Extra for sponsoring this episode, for being the longest running sponsor on this channel, and for helping us continue to pursue these travel dreams. Now let's get back to Paddletail.
At the very end of our building is where you'll find Waterfront Adventures. They are in a brand new building behind me. They actually just moved in 6 weeks ago. At the main level, they have their dive shop. That's where you'll check in if you do book any of their excursions, and they also have a bunch of stuff you can shop for in there. Now, if you do book an excursion where you do need to watch a safety video or wear a wetsuit, then you'll go up to their second floor. We did take a peek up there. It's very nice and very spacious. Next to the dive shop and right behind me is where you'll find the pool, the jacuzzi, and the docks where you'll boat, and the docks where you can board, where you'll board. board boats. And the docks where you'll board boats. I can't say board boats. And the docks where you can board boats and kayaks for excursions. And last but not least, the Tiki Bar is behind me, and if everything went as planned today, then we should be eating there right now. We're all unpacked, let's go eat.
So our dinner spot tonight is literally like 50 feet from where we got off our boat tour. It's called the Tiki at Paddletail Lodge. It's located right on the water. Their food menu has some really delicious sounding options. I went with the Nashville hot chicken and Jamie went with the Philly cheesesteak. They also had some really good sounding mixed drinks on their menu. I went with the Singapore Sling. I've never had one of these drinks before, so I figured now is the time to change that. You can really taste that elderflower. It's very good. I like that a lot. Refreshing, a little sweet, and you can taste the gin too.
Our food just came out. We haven't tried our sandwiches yet, but these fries are crispy and delicious. That cheese is really gooey. I love the flavor of the meat and onions, and this bread is really soft. I would recommend it.
So this is the Nashville hot sandwich, and as you can see, the piece of chicken they put on this thing is ridiculously huge, and our server said that the sauce on it has a good amount of heat as well. I hope she's right. Now that batter is super crispy, the chicken is juicy and tender. The sauce does have a bit of heat to it. It's not very sweet, but that's great actually because it really allows you to taste the coleslaw and the pickles and the chicken itself. It's a great sandwich.
Skylar really did make a cat friend. It came to find us after dinner.
Now we knew we were gonna love the atmosphere at the Tiki Bar, but I think we were both pretty surprised by how much we enjoyed the food as well, because we've been to plenty of hotel restaurants that had average food at best, but the food here was great. We both really enjoyed the chicken sandwich and the Philly cheesesteak, and the portions were huge, which means we are stuffed and ready for bed, which is probably a good thing because our manatee swimming tour starts really early in the morning, so we'll meet back up with you then. Good morning, guys. It is like 6:20 in the morning, and we've actually been up for a little while already because the hotel breakfast started at 6, and it was actually really good. As you can probably see, the sun is just starting to rise. But the main reason we're up early this morning is because our manatee tour goes out at 6:45. As you might be able to see, you can actually see my breath a little bit this morning. And that's because it is really cold. It's like 41 degrees, which is quite cold for Florida standards and quite a bit below normal. But on this morning, that's a good thing because from what we've heard, the colder the air temperature is, the more likely the manatees are to be congregated together in the water and the easier they'll be able to find. So we're hopeful that we're gonna be able to swim with a bunch of them this morning. One of the perks of being up so early this morning is we got to see a really nice sunrise over the water. As you can see, it's really still out there.
Although it was very cold and very early, our energy was high as we were excited for this big adventure. The tour started off with an educational video and some instructions from our tour guide Ross, which included manatee manners and passive observation, which would help ensure that both us and the manatees have the best experience possible. While the waters were calm, we learned that the springs probably wouldn't be as clear as they typically are due to the fact that there was a king tide going on and all the manatee activity would likely stir up the sediment at the bottom of the spring. But we'd soon find out that we wouldn't need much visibility to see these manatees well because they'd be getting very close to us. All right, here we go. As soon as we got in the water, we took a few minutes to get used to floating in our wetsuits. I opted to use a noodle to make it easier to hold the camera while floating on the surface of the water. We then slowly made our way into the keyhole. Once in the keyhole, we took our guide's advice to float on top of the water as calmly as possible, as the manatees tend to be more curious when human visitors are still, and they were right. We soon had manatees swimming past us and even coming up to check out our cameras. This particular manatee decided to hang onto my noodle for a bit before coming back to try to nibble on my hair and give the camera a smile.
Eventually, the manatee gave up on my hair, hung out on my arm for a bit, and then chilled on my leg. And this one decided to roll around on Skylar's leg. We should explain that the keyhole is the only area within this manatee sanctuary that humans can access, which means if at any time the manatees decide they are done interacting with us, they are free to swim back into the sanctuary and relax in peace. Sometimes the ones that were interested in hanging out would come right up to the camera and stare into it, like this manatee. And other times they would come right up to our face masks. I think this one might have been having a staring contest with Skylar. At one point, this manatee swam up underneath me, put his little flippers on my waist, then decided to climb up on my leg. When he decided to leave, he said goodbye by giving my foot a couple playful tugs. While visibility wasn't great on this trip, this experience still exceeded our expectations, as there were so many playful manatees that wanted to come and interact with us. But all great things come to an end, and eventually we swam back to the boat, dried off, and enjoyed some hot drinks to warm back up.
So we just got back from our manatee swim experience. Another really good thing if you stay here at the Paddletail Lodge is as soon as you get done with that experience, you can hop right into this hot tub here. And even though the water feels a little bit warm whenever you get in it at first, and their wetsuits do keep you fairly warm throughout the experience, about an hour and a half in, your body just starts to shake after being in that 72-degree water for so long. We've been in here about 15 minutes and I still don't think I've warmed up yet. If you do book the semi-private manatee swim experience, that is on a smaller boat and they are able to have a small heater on there as well. Plus they do offer you coffee and hot chocolate on the way back, which does help. But I would still recommend getting in this hot tub.
On our tour, we went out with boat captain Steve and tour guide Ross. Both of them have years of experience here in Crystal River, and you can definitely tell, and we would highly recommend going out with both of them. Now, we went out on the first tour of the day, and they said there's 2 different spots they could have taken us to, but they chose King Spring because they said it would be the most active spot. If they would have taken us to Three Sisters, the water would have been a little bit more clear, but they said more of the manatees probably would have just been sleeping. But we're really glad they decided to take us to King Spring, which is also known as the Keyhole or the Manatee Playground, and we're so glad they did because there were so many manatees there and they definitely were playful. Now, like they said, the water visibility wasn't great. We could probably only see maybe like 4 or 5 feet or so, but that was okay because there were instantly manatees within 1-2 feet of us, sometimes right up in our face, so you really didn't need to see very far to always be able to see manatees.
Tour guide Ross said that at times there can be up to 1,400 manatees in this area of Crystal River. Now, I don't know how many were in the area with us today, but there were a lot. At some point, I found myself in between 4 or 5 manatees just floating around. At one point, there was a manatee hanging off my leg, tugging at me, probably trying to play, and then another one came right up into my face. It was just an incredible experience.
Now, from our prior experience swimming with the manatees, we were kind of expecting the leg tugging or maybe a manatee to chew on our hair a little bit or even come up from under us and lift us out of the water a bit. But one thing that happened on this trip that I wasn't expecting was that one of the manatees actually unzipped my wetsuit. I felt something tugging at my back for a while. Initially, I thought it was Jamie, but then it kept going. And then all of a sudden, I started getting really cold. It wasn't until about 10 minutes later that Jamie told me that the back of my wetsuit was completely unzipped, which explained why I was freezing. But Jamie did zip it back up for me, and I warmed up pretty quickly after that. But a funny thing is that our tour guy said that one of the manatees is actually known for unzipping wetsuits, and they even call him Zippy.
Now, like Skylar mentioned, we had swam with the manatees before, so we knew that it could be an awesome experience. But really, today truly was an epic one. And if you're thinking that this video is an epic experience, or maybe just a little bit above average, we'd love it if you'd hit that thumbs up button or that hype button, because every one of those does help this video reach a wider audience and helps us continue to make these videos. Now, after swimming with the manatees for a couple of hours, we're getting hungry and thirsty, so we're gonna go clean up and then meet you back for a happy hour.
So we made it back to the hotel, got changed, warmed up, and relaxed a little bit. And by now it's a little bit after 3 p.m. and today is a Friday, which means it is time to hit a happy hour. And that's actually another thing we love about this hotel. It's located within walking distance of several dining establishments, including the place we're heading to for happy hour, which came really highly recommended by the hotel staff. So we made it here to Bayside Craft Kitchen, where we were able to be seated outside right on the water, and it is a beautiful day. We were happy to see that they had some really good options for happy hour drink specials. I think the best one might be this. This is a lemon drop martini, and it's only $5.50. I don't remember the last time I saw a martini for less than $6. Hopefully it's good. Wow. That drink is fantastic. It's quite tart, very smooth. The only sweetness is the sugar on the rim, and it's just an excellent drink, especially considering it's only $5.50.
I went with a yuzu mocktail margarita. It wasn't on the happy hour menu, but it just sounded too good. It's pretty tart, a little sweet. I like it a lot.
What is yuzu? I think it's a type of citrus.
We were having a hard time deciding what to order because all these appetizers are only $6, but we settled on Brussels sprouts because the lady at Paddletail highly recommended them. They're whipped feta, as well as the pork belly and the crab corn chowder.
So it's safe to say that happy hour at Bayside Craft Kitchen was a huge success. Normally when we try a bunch of different items like that, we try to name one that's our favorite and one that maybe we wouldn't try again, but honestly, we would get all of those again. They were really good, but we still did have a couple of favorites. The first one was that whipped feta. It was a little bit tangy, a little bit sweet, and super creamy. We absolutely loved it. The second one was the Brussels sprouts. We actually really liked them paired with the pork belly. But speaking of Brussels sprouts, when I was a kid, there wasn't much I wouldn't eat, but one thing I wouldn't eat was Brussels sprouts. In fact, when my dad made them for dinner, he would actually pay me a quarter for every one I ate. I hated them that much. So if you would have told me when I was a kid that not only would I be voluntarily eating Brussels sprouts, but I would absolutely be loving them, I don't think I would have believed you.
After dinner, we were planning on driving over to Waterfront Social because we have been there before and we really enjoyed it. Plus, a lot of people say that is the best spot to watch sunset on the water. But when we were at our happy hour spot, we noticed there was a bar next door that's also on the water, and we're not really in the mood for driving, so I think we're just gonna try that out instead.
So we made it to our happy hour spot here at the Tipsy Tarpon. They have a bunch of thatch umbrellas, which we really like. We're surrounded by sand, and it looks like we will have a pretty good view of sunset. Also, our happy hour spot is right behind us. We didn't realize we were that close.
Now for drinks, I just got a soda water.
And I got a local IPA. I think this is called Big Nose from Swamp Head. As you can probably see, it's much more red in color than most IPAs. It is quite hazy, but it's not juicy. It's not really sweet at all. It's quite hoppy and quite malty. I'm not really sure if I like this yet or not. It's very different. I think it's pretty good, but I'm gonna have to have a few more drinks to decide for sure. Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Good morning. We got up a little bit earlier and started our day with breakfast at the hotel. Of course, I went for a waffle, Skylar went with her biscuits and gravy, and we both agreed that the quality of the food there is a little bit better than your typical complimentary breakfast at a hotel. So we have enjoyed eating there the last 2 mornings. Now, we did have plans to go out on a kayak this morning at 8 a.m., but it's still in the 40s. It was a little chilly for us. So we stopped by and talked with the staff, and they said we could wait and go out a little bit later when it gets a little bit warmer. But that works because we heard there was a good coffee shop within walking distance, and that's where we're heading to right now. I went with one of their winter specials. It has their homemade peppermint syrup in it, peppermint oil, and I think mocha. I've already tried it. It tastes like a chocolate peppermint, and it's really good. The coffee and the sweet flavors are really well balanced. Since we did have coffee this morning at breakfast, we decided just to share this one. I did want to note though, this coffee shop is located right downtown across from the town square, so it's a great stop if you wanted to come down to do a little bit of shopping or just to visit some of the businesses. It's also only 4 blocks from Hunter Springs, but I think we're going to take this to go, head back to the hotel and get back out on the water. Here's our map for our paddle today. We're starting out right here. Now, when we went swimming with the manatees, we came down here to the keyhole in King Spring. I think though, we're probably gonna paddle past Pete's Pier and come all the way into Three Sisters, where we were on our manatee boat tour. A little wobbly.
Not scary. Way back.
It's feeling really nice out here today. I'm glad we waited a little bit longer to get out on the water.
It warmed up really quickly.
It did.
And this kayak is really long and really comfortable. I think we can both stretch out and it's gonna be a nice trip.
Yes, it is. So back there is where we just left from. And over there is where we had happy hour last night. And where those tiki huts are is where we had drinks for sunset. Now, we are gonna head towards Pete's Pier, which is right there. We'll paddle that way to that bridge that we went under on the boat to Three Sisters.
Not gonna lie, it's kind of nice just sitting back here letting you do all the work.
It's pretty relaxing out here.
It is. It's so calm.
We have brought our paddleboards out here and paddled from Hunter Springs to Three Sister Springs before, but those times it was a little bit rougher out here. I think there was quite a bit more wind. Today there's just a little bit of a breeze, so it's very calm. So we are about to the bridge and already we've seen 4 manatees swim by.
Easier to spot them on a day like this when the water is calm because you can see their tracks so much easier.
Like you can see that track there. That's a manatee trail. I think there were 3 in that one. We just went under the bridge and had 3 different manatees swim underneath of us. We didn't even realize they were there until they were underneath of us. Now, an advantage of being on a paddleboard versus a kayak is that you can stand up so you can see them coming a little bit further than when they're just right next to you. The water is getting much clearer here. We can see at least 2 manatees just under the surface. Oh, this one's coming up right next to us. Hi. When we were on the manatee boat tour, our tour guide called this the Manatee Highway, and he was right. We've already seen at least 6, and each of them seemed like they had somewhere to be.
Now, while we relax a while and watch the manatees swim by, we do want to mention something new we've been trying on this channel. You may remember if you watched our last week's episode that we actually gave a hint about where we'd be filming today, which is here in Crystal River. Now, hopefully by the time we're done editing this video, at least 3 of you will have guessed Crystal River correctly, because if you have, we're going to give you a shout out by having your names pop up right here. We do want to congratulate all of you who did guess Crystal River correctly, and we also now want to give you some hints on our next episode. It's another spot that we did visit a few years back on the channel. It has a very strong European influence, and it's also where you'll find one of our favorite bakeries in all of Florida. Let us know what your guesses are in the comments, and the first 3 to guess correctly will get a shout out in that episode.
Oh, that looks like a baby.
Yeah.
We're hanging out right at the entrance to Three Sisters Springs. There are protected areas right next to it, and during the wintertime they do close it off so you can't have any watercraft in there, and sometimes they even close it off to swimmers if there are so many manatee in there. My guess is if you were to go visit the boardwalk today, there'd probably be a ton of manatee hanging out.
Now, getting out on this little self-guided kayak tour really is the perfect way to end our time here in Crystal River. We absolutely enjoyed all 3 of the tours we went on this trip. Our tour guides have been fantastic. All of them have years of experience on the water, and our tour guide yesterday actually said that in over 20 years of doing manatee tours, they've only had 1 where they actually didn't see a single manatee. You can even go on the tours in the summer, and while there are up to 1,400 manatees that live in these waters in the cold winter months, there's only about 20 to 60 full-time residents, so in the summer they're going to be a lot harder to find, but you can still find them. Now we do also have to give a huge thank you to Paddletail Waterfront Lodge and Waterfront Adventures for hosting us and for taking us out on these epic adventures. If you do want to book your own stay at the lodge or go out on any of these awesome tours, you can do so by scanning the QR code on the screen or clicking on the link in the video description.
Oh, there he is. That's a big one. Before we leave this area, I did want to share a story from our manatee swim experience yesterday. We were on a semi-private tour, so there were only 6 of us plus the boat captain and the tour guide. And there was one in the group that when they got in the water, they were kind of panicking because they were having a hard time getting used to the wetsuit. But instead of having her just go back to the boat and have her wait while we all swam with the manatees, the boat captain, he recognized her struggles right away and let the tour guide know. And he actually had her hang on to his shoulders for the first part of the tour until she got used to being in the water, and then she was able to be out there with us the entire time. So I just wanted to recognize the staff at Waterfront Adventures because not all tour guides would have taken that extra step to make sure that she was able to have that experience.
Manatee to your left.
Manatee! Now, while we make our way back, I did want to mention how relaxing this trip has been for us. Not only did we get to go on some really cool adventures, but we didn't have to get in our car to go anywhere. We were able to get on our excursions right on site where we stayed, and we didn't have to get in our car to go get food, get drinks, or even go get coffee. We walked everywhere. So we think this is the perfect little getaway. Now, if you're interested in more small town or off the beaten path destinations here in Florida, then make sure you're subscribed to our channel and watch this playlist next. Thanks for watching.